Hey, Cappies. Welcome to Vivid Vibration. My name is Christina. I hope that y'all are doing well. If you're interested in booking a personal read with me, please click the link in the description box below. Otherwise, please give me a like, share, and subscribe. All of your help is very appreciated and super helpful. Okay, Cappies, y'all have cards. So we have the Apocalypse, the Empty Room, the Mother, the Destroyer, the Womb, the Medallion and Arrows, the Kiss, and the Judge. Y'all cannot get the Judge out of your reads to save your lives. Judgy McJudgersons. Okay. Cappies. I feel like there's just this idea of there being, this massive end that you have either gone through recently or currently going through, or, like I don't get the feeling this is upcoming energy. I feel like this has been playing itself out for a minute. But it's just this idea of like the lifting of the veil. And after the apocalypse happens, after everything, is destroyed, there's an idea of like having to really sit with yourself, and understand, like who am I in all of this, and how am I, why do I attract the people that I attract to me? Why do I, how is it that I participate or engage in the behavior of those in my community? And why is it that I'm drawn to these people? I feel like there's just been this really big question about like who are my friends and why are they my friends? And part of it I think has been because of this like relationship that breakup, whatever that you've been dealing with, um, or like friendship or however it plays out for y'all. But I just feel like there's this idea that like when it's ending, you're really starting to like take stock of like everything, like in all the people around you, right? Like okay, let me make some sense of this really quick and see where I am in all of it, because like the company you keep keeps you is just kind of like what I want to say. And I feel like there's an idea here of like, Cappies. I mean, I love Cappies. Like some of my favorite people are Cappies, right? And it's just this idea that okay. So part of the reason I love Cappies is because you guys are very like you're steady, right? Like you can always count on a Cappy. Like Cappies will like hold it down for you, but they also hold a grudge and like do all of the things. But they hold it down for their friends unconditionally. I feel like some of the most unconditional love that I've ever experienced has been from Capricorns. And it's just because that like they just what I don't know, they don't feel the need to make you anybody other than who you are. Like they're so like solid in who they are that they're able to really just allow for people like to have that space to be who they are, right? And so there's just something very like safe and comforting about being around a Cappy. Um, but I almost want to say, Cappy, that the idea here is that there were a lot of people who felt very safe and comfortable being around you, who also felt very safe and comfortable, like throwing some shit your way because they just thought, oh, Cappy will love me unconditionally. And Cappy's like, no, bitch, I sure won't. And I want to say, like, having to really destroy this idea of clinginess, because I feel like there was this misunderstanding of like writing for somebody and like using somebody, because there's a very fine line, right? I mean, it's how things get blurred. And I feel like there's an idea of like there were people who were kind of clinging to you and seeking to like gain their identity out of you. And they weren't down for you. They were down for themselves under the guise of commitment to you. And I feel like you're just like really coming in and like destroying like these mentalities, or these relationships or connections with these people, because you're like not okay with it. And I want to say, then you have the kiss, the medallion, and Eros, and I want to say like you're going for what it is that you want, which is this is coming through as a relationship, like passion and intimacy and romance, and like acquiring that. And some of my Cappies I know are in relationships, and it could be that some of my Cappies are getting married, that you're like, you know what, Like I'm so tired of these people thinking that they have like I know who's for me and like this is what I'm gonna do and I'm like and you guys are gonna lock it down. So at least congratulations to you on that. For other of my cappies, I feel like you are just purging out this community and going for what it is that you really want and just kind of saying, you know what, fuck it. I'm done. I'm done dealing with these. I, Twitter watch. I don't know. It's just like what I call people who really irritate the shit out of me. And it's not that they're bad people. It's just that they're fucking like little, Twitter twats. Okay. Cappies. The Nine of Cups, the Seven of Cups, the Empress, and the King of Swords. Yeah, I do. I feel like it's just this idea of like I'm done with the lack. I'm taking the good. I'm going on my own way. Like like I have a lot of good to harvest and a lot of good to take care of here, and I've made a decision to really like focus on that because like that's where I feel like that's where you're at. You're like I mean the King of Swords is very decisive. And the Empress is, kind of a harvest card, but also a card that's a little bit protective. And Cappies, I feel like that's your energy right now, right? Like you're coming in very protective of I want to say like your goals and what it is that you want to do and what it is that you want to go for because you're done with people who are playing like you got played. I feel like you got played, Caps, and that sucks. Um, but I also think that it's better to know who the real ones are as soon as you possibly can. And maybe that took you a while. Maybe it took you a little bit longer than you had anticipated. Like I feel like there's an element of feeling a little bit blindsided by, like the way that you got the way that you got played, and a level of just utter like infuriation. Um, then you have the Five of Cups, the Magician, the Empress again, the Queen of Swords, and the Lovers. And I feel like Cappies, there's just this idea here of like coming out of this confusion with a truth, like a solid truth on like right, like who is it that's down for you, and how is it that you can decipher the real ones from the fake ones, right? And then I want to say just stepping into your abundance because you have, and I want to say there's a relationship here, Cappies, that you have that that is really just like drawing you in, and it feels like it's somebody who's very, I want to say like stationed in who they are. And I feel like the idea here is like I want to say like this person has been this person for like so long. So I wonder if it's not somebody that you've been friends with for a long time. For some of my Cappies, it could be somebody that you like grew up with, or um, somebody that you work with. But I just kind of get the feeling that you're like there's almost an idea here of like I want to say like an illumination of what it looks like to be a real person versus what it looks like to be the type of person who plays you. And I feel like there's somebody who you see as a real one who you just really want to go toward because you want you still want a relationship. I feel like there's an idea here of like I've been fighting off these relationships for so long that it's like that I forgot what it was like to actually want one. but I feel like you want one. I don't know why you want one all of a sudden. But I feel like that's the idea here is that it's like you were dealing with so much of the shit, and then I feel like there's almost just this like you were just looking in the wrong direction. I feel like you held it down and you kept it real for people who didn't hold it down and didn't keep it real for you. And there's I want to say an idea here, Cappy, that there's somebody who you didn't keep it real for, who you didn't hold it down for. I almost feel like there's an idea of karma here. And I feel like in this karma, you got a really clear picture of yourself. And maybe the way that you treated people who were real to you, the way that you were treated by people who you thought were going to be real for you. I don't know, Cappy. Interesting twist. Okay, let's do one last card and we'll call it a read. The one. Yeah, because I do. I kind of get the feeling that this person's been around for a while, Caps. I don't know. I feel like you've known this person for a long time. And if you haven't known them for a long time, then maybe it's somebody who's just gonna come into your life who is different than all the rest of the ones, and you are able to recognize it because you finally learned the lesson of I want to say just like recognizing character. People tell you who they are like off the bat. Like it really they do. It's just that we want to make excuses for it for them. Um, but you know, okay, Caps. Well, that was an interesting read. I am doing personal reads now. If you are interested in booking one, please click the link in the description box below. Otherwise, please give me a like, share, and subscribe. I am just getting started. All of your support is very helpful and much appreciated. If this is where we part ways, thank you for spending some time with me, and I hope to see y'all again soon. Bye.